Get ready with me as I answer your questions. I actually asked you yesterday to ask me questions on Instagram, and you guys went all in with the questions. Grab your snacks because this may be long, and not only grab your snacks, or if you're busy in the house, put on your headphones. This may be long. I'm going to answer these questions today. There were actually many than I thought, so let's get into these questions. I just cleansed my face, and the things that I use to clean my face, I've shared this many times. I use this CeraVe foaming facial cleanser. I've been using it, I've been loving it. It's been very, very good for my skin. But what I use from there immediately after I wash my skin, which is now, I just finished washing my skin, I'll then use this toner. I told you that I can now finally share my skincare because I suffered with a lot of melasma. As you see, it's pretty much faded. It's pretty much faded now, and I've been using Good Molecule products. I actually have been using this for maybe 7 months now, and the toner is almost done. I just used the toner. I'm loving it. I've been loving it. Oops. Let me just do this. So, question number 1. What type of devotion do you and your husband do together? My husband and I, we've been spending a lot of Bible reading. And one of the things that we managed to do, we've been studying the Bible a lot more for the past years. I shared in the channel that before we had a very bad experience at a church before, but it did not crush us because we read the Bible. And we don't do any devotion as far as following any man's book or any man's way of reading the Bible. We just follow the Holy Ghost and just read the whole Bible by ourselves. And yes, we've read it multiple times, the whole entire Bible together, and we shared together. The way we did it, when we just first got married, we were reading the Bible together a lot more. As we had more children, yes, we read it together, but we got to the point where by now we read individually but also together, if that makes sense. Every day we discuss the Bible. So when I'm reading my hour in the morning, usually at 5 o'clock in the morning by myself, when I find something new, I immediately come to share with my husband and say, wow, did you see that this actually happened, and this is what's going on I use some, this is the Good Molecule correcting serum. I immediately tell them, I didn't tell my husband like, oh, actually I learned this in the Bible and this is what is happening. And then my husband, when he learns something new, he does that. Sometimes, depending on day, sometimes we just come together and just learn it together as a couple like that. But we don't have any devotion as far as man-made anything. We don't follow any devotions because we've learned that the main reason why a lot of people are deceived as far as scriptures is because people follow man-made stuff. I don't think there's a better teacher than the Holy Ghost, so we don't use that. And then I wrote this. I'll link it down for you guys. I wrote this. This is not a devotion. This is a Bible journal. I put notes in it when I learn something new. I just put it inside there. You can have it Genesis, whatever you learn in the Bible, anything. Usually I use this one for whatever topic I am learning. For example, in the past years, I was learning the Godhead, knowing who the Christ was, because I had heard a lot of people talk about who Jesus Christ is. And then I'll just put down whatever I'm learning. Recently, I'm learning a new topic. When I study the Bible now, what I do personally for us, what we do, we read it focusing on one topic from the beginning of the Bible to the end of the Bible. Let's say this year we want to learn about having more children. I'm giving an example. And I want to study whether the Bible is fine with birth control or the Bible is not fine with birth control. So what we'll do, we'll focus on that specific topic and read the entire Bible looking for our answer there. And right now we are actually studying creation and the Godhead together. Like creation and how did the Lord create the world and how it's like that. But I still read the whole stuff. I'm still learning other stuff, but I'm focusing specifically on one topic. That's how we've been doing it. My skincare is very easy, guys. After I put my serum, you're gonna laugh. After I put my serum, I put my oil. That's it. That's it. And some people have suggested that I just put the oil. This is the oil. This is Good Molecule. I've been in love with them actually. They really help to make my skin to where I want it. I mean, I'm still not there because if you watch here, This one is not completely faded, but this one is completely faded. If you see, it's completely faded, this side, but this side is not completely faded, and hopefully as I keep on using it, it will work. But it has proven to me to work. So this is my whole skincare routine. That I do that every night. When I go out, what I'll do, I'll put on a sunscreen, and I've been using, I forgot the name, I'll put it down here. I've been using that sunscreen, but since I'm not going out, I'm just doing a get ready with me inside the house. I'm just gonna get done with that. So second question, if I may ask, why did you stop using your prosthetic legs? I did not stop using my prosthetic legs. I walk daily. I mean, it is 4 times a week inside the house. I'm using them to exercise. I've actually said this multiple times. Now my legs fit. Now I'm walking. But I've said this multiple times that okay, I don't know if the person asking this question is a person with legs or not legs. When you have legs, you have an idea that, wow, it will be so amazing to use prosthetic legs. What you don't understand is actually that it's more, it's comfortable to not use prosthetic legs at all. For me, at least for me. And not only that, I have children, and it's easier to walk around the house, to move around the house without my legs. It's actually easier for me to hold my legs. My legs are made of a hard surface on the thigh, meaning that it will be not comfortable for me and to hold the baby on them. What is best is to take them off and hold my baby. If I want to do day-to-day jobs in the house, it's best to not put on my legs. But if I want to look like I have legs to the outside people, then I put my legs on, which is not wise. I'm not living my life to make people happy or to make people think that I have legs. However, I'm using them to exercise. I'm exercising with them every day, every other day now, at least 3 to 4 times a week. And I've been working, and it's been working amazingly, but I'm using them. And let me know if you want me to share a video of how I use them. But I use them every week. Beautiful boys, thank you so much. Do you want to try for a girl? So this, oh, by the way, this is the most question that I get asked. Are you going to try for another baby? Are you going to try for a girl? Are you going to try for another child? And the thing is that, to answer you in short, if the Lord blesses us for a child, glory to God. But we won't be trying for a girl. I'm at the point where I'm convinced that I could have 10 boys. I could have 9 boys. I could have 13 boys, because I've seen that happen. I know that people that I've seen it happen, they are not my relatives, but I know that God is possible. It's possible for the Lord to do that, because my grandma, one of my grandmas, had 7 boys. I know that people say, yeah, I know it's not the woman that determines the sex of the child. I know that, but it's the Lord that determines the sex of the child. I know that it's a man, but it's the Lord that creates people. So I'm really at the point where, yes, we may have another child, yes or no, depending on what the Lord does, but it's not gonna be where I'm trying for a girl. I'm now at peace with being a boy mom, if that makes sense. Hello, do you all plan on having more kids soon? Love your family. Yes, if God bless us with more kids, for sure we'll have more children. How did you lose your legs? Oh, I have a full video of how I lost my leg. I'll link it down for you below. But in short, I lost my leg through a birth defect. It was a birth defect that my legs could not be saved. I mean, there was no way. It was just a birth defect. I'll leave that video down so I don't become redundant for my most followers that already follow me. Why don't we have grass in Africa? Looks so brown. Firstly, let me say this. I know I like to say Africa in my title, but I want to say that Africa is Botswana is in Africa, and Botswana is a semi-desert. And in the, you see, I don't know how to multitask. I want to do my hair, but I cannot do that. Okay. In my country of Botswana, when we visited, it was winter. So since it was winter, that means that the grass is hibernating. So the grass is white and hibernating and sleeping, if you want to, so to speak. Africa is a country that is filled with a lot of countries. So other countries are more green than Botswana, but Botswana, where I'm from, which is Botswana, is the semi-desert. Winter does not love us. But next time, I was telling my husband that next time, actually, because we did not have a good experience, because we got sick, a lot of people, I had already told you guys that we're going to go to different African countries. The first week, I didn't share this much in my channel, but I shared a little bit if you watch me. The first 3 weeks from the time we arrived, a few days after we arrived, until 3 weeks, I was extremely sick. And I was so sick that I at one point regretted going in the winter, because whatever variant is going there of this, it was so hard on my body. So the first 3 weeks we couldn't come, and I mean we couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything because I was extremely sick, and I didn't share my channel. And then we couldn't go to other countries. But if we go to other countries, if we keep on going up, it may be a lot greener. And next time we actually want to go in the summer, and hopefully people will see just how green Botswana is. But right now it is like that because of the winter. How long were you in Africa for? We're in Botswana for 9 weeks. Our goal was that we were gonna spend the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks in Botswana and then go to another country and then go to another country. That was our plan, but sickness stopped everything and our children got sick. It was horrible, but we just kept those things behind the camera because we felt like they will not help us with anything. Hello Neo, I just want to say you are a great inspiration to all. Will you always homeschool the boys? Not always. It's we actually talked about this the other day with my husband. We're not gonna always homeschool the boys, but we are planning on homeschooling them and getting them extremely smart. Like when I say extremely smart, I mean the reading. We want them to be the best readers, the best critical thinkers, the best. We want them to be a lot when they read, to be more abstract, to be more like how I would have wanted to be when I was a student, because I noticed that when you understand the mysteries of everything, whether it's books and stuff, you become smart. So maybe around 5th grade, 6th grade, they'll go to school, or even 4th grade, depending on how we think they are at now. But right now, they are at the point whereby they need mom and dad to just work on their brain, to work on their concentration. But no, we're not gonna always homeschool. I said this many times that we don't use any religious curriculum. And the main reason why we don't use any religious curriculum is because I've seen a lot of false stuff in that type of stuff. And I'm a Bible-believing Christian that loves to read the Bible and that loves to stay in the Bible and in the Word. I don't believe in forcing my children to know the Bible and to know the teachings that some of them I don't even agree with like that. But because I know that the time will come when they'll be ready to grasp a lot of things, because the children that I've seen of people that had made these children memorize all the scriptures, I'm not impressed. I mean, so far with what I've seen. And I know that it has to be a willing thing. You don't force the child to memorize it. It says that teaching them to your children. I believe in teaching. I believe in putting them in their heart. Someone may say, well, memorizing is putting in the heart. Okay, fair enough. But I don't think so for me. I don't think memorizing is putting in heart, because someone may say, John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life, right? Someone may say, for example, for me, if I did not memorize it, I may say it like, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him, like you don't have to use believeth. So I believe that putting in the heart is understanding that God gave us his only begotten son that will have everlasting life through him. That I don't need to know it verbatim, like in memorization. I believe in understanding. So I don't, for example, one of the things that I don't agree with is forcing the child to memorize the scriptures. I don't believe in that. I believe in making the child understand what the scripture says. Also, I believe in the child learning about the teachings of evolution. I believe in the child learning all things of God and of man, and then God will work through them, hopefully, because we teach them the word of God to make decisions. So hence the reason why we don't use any religious curriculum, and we teach them what the word is teaching. The word is teaching, but also we teach them the things of the Lord. That way they'll decide. So no, in short, no, we're not going to always homeschool. There's a time when we're going to send them to school. How many months is baby Garrett now? I hope you guys can see that I don't I'm not good at multitasking, okay? I'm not good at that. How many months is baby Garrett? Baby Garrett is 10 months now. Which baby looks the most like you, and which one looks the most like dad? I'm honestly 100% that Michael looks like me. I'm convinced that Michael looks like me. I am convinced that little Garrett looks like me. The twins, they are confusing me, to be honest with you. So I'll say that the one that I think looks like me is baby Garrett and Michael. The ones that look like my husband will be the twins, in my opinion. But I don't know. You guys tell me. If you've been watching me long, you tell me. I don't know, to be honest with you guys. That part I don't know. How do your kids make friends since you homeschool them? This is a huge question of misunderstanding from the people, and rightly so, because it's fair enough, because people demonize homeschooling and they make homeschooling look like this thing where your children are secluded from the world. They cannot meet people. Let me tell you, I actually made a video here with my husband before where we actually talked about that. And I thought so too. It's not your fault. It's not these people's fault to really assume that the children don't socialize with other people. It's by design. And also, it's by... To be honest with you, it's people have made homeschooling to look bad. And some of them, it's not just the media, it's also the people around the world that are just doing horrible things. There are people that actually decide to homeschool just so that they can separate their children from the world, or they can just be so abusive, so like that. So homeschooling have that reputation. So people think that with homeschooling, the children don't meet other children, the children are just by themselves, they will not socialize with other children. If you've been watching us, you know that that's not true for our kids, because our kids actually are the most social butterflies. Butterflies like they are just like me. They are social butterflies. It's actually crazy. They talk to everyone. One thing that I love about what homeschooling has done for our kids, by the way, is the fact that they communicate with everybody. They communicate with adults. They communicate with staff. That's one thing I love about homeschooling, is that it makes your children be good communicators with adults and with children. So they're not always in class, they're always like that. Like, it's one of the best decisions we've made, especially at a young age. So how do we communicate? How do we meet other children? We actually have co-ops. Also, we have friends. I have friends that have children that are also homeschooling. Actually, I just met the other mom that has afro hair like me. She's homeschooling her kids, and we are in this thing. We are building. I have this friend of mine. She is good at this. She's just building a mom club. A lot of mothers with a lot of children, and let our children just hang around in everything weekly. It's such an amazing thing. So we have a lot of group clubs. Let me tell you, in our little town, they make things for children. We have children's museum. We have all these things that amazing. So we have everything for the children to socialize. I know that it's a misconception that also, I believed in it. I told you guys that I was going to send the kids to school last year, actually. And I learned that it's not true. They socialize with other children a lot more than the children that actually go to school. Because from going to school is that you get to school in the morning, you go in class, you go for lunch or break to eat, and then you go back to school. From there you go to sport. Like, there's no that socialization in school. You actually have more socialization in the home, but people actually think that you have more socialization at home when you're homeschooling than when you go to school. But people think it's other way, but that's what's happened. Will you try for a girl? I answered that one already. How did you potty train? The way we potty train with my husband and I. Anyway, by the way, we have boys, so maybe boys it's a lot easier. I don't know. But with the twins, I kind of struggled at first, but I learned the secrets of it. So what we did when we decided that, okay, this is the time to homeschool, which usually is it depends on the child. I no longer put an age on it because I notice every children is different. We put a train the twins after 2 years when they were like over 2 years. The 3-year-old one now only has a pull up at night, even though he doesn't wet it. But some days there's an accident. So what we did, we just took off the clothes. Let me start with the twins. The twins, what I did, my husband was working outside the home, so I was home alone with the kids, with the twins. What I did, I just took off their pants, and then we spent all our day with them on off pants, closer to the bathroom, because we didn't have any potty toilet or anything like that. And I'll tell them that if you want to pee or if you want to poo-poo, you're going to poop there. The first day was hard. They did some stuff. But one thing I learned about children, at least mine, they hated to wet themselves. They hated to poop themselves. It was hard with the twins, but I learned it. So with Michael, we waited to make sure that he's ready. How did we know that the child is ready? When he'll poop and then come and tell you as a mom, like, oh, I need to change, or oh, I pooped. And I'm like, if you know that you poop, might as well go to the bathroom. So when they get to that point, I let them, we train them. So we take off all their clothes, and then we make sure that they're there by the toilet. And then the first time they're going to hate so much to poop, to have that accident. The first day, the second day, the third day, they kind of like get it. The fourth day, yes, they got it. And the moment they start pooping, because at first for us, they started like peeing there. And then they learned that, oh, this is what it did. And within 7 days, they were done. So we were taking off their clothes and then just making sure that they are ready. But we waited. We did not do it early. In Botswana, parents do it a lot earlier. Where I'm from in Botswana, that is because there you will have a lot of help and you can actually train a child by the time they are 1 year old there. But here it's different because of diapers and they are not always outside and life is busy. But some parents do it way early, as we do it around, when I'm in Botswana I will do it early, but here I do it around 2 years or so. How's your home building process going? When do you plan to move? Our home planning is going amazing. It's now roofed. It's done with the roofing, which was one of the most expensive stuff, and it's going amazing. This time my husband and I, we want to take the building process a little different this time. What we're going to do, we learned that when we are not there, builders sometimes make some mistakes that my mom would miss and stuff. For example, the roof guy did not roof it the way the plan showed it. So he made some mistakes that we overlooked, but we are not happy at first about that. But not only that, he made those mistakes because the architect did a bad job of showing what the house looks like. So they made those mistakes. Yes, it still looks gorgeous. Our house is beautiful. But at this point now, we want to, when we are doing the very big stuff, for example, doing the inside of the kitchen, getting the ceiling and getting the plumbing and doing everything like that, we want us to be there in person. So right now we are saving money to save for it. If we don't know, our house is being built out of pocket. My husband and I, we don't have any kind of debt. We paid off our car. At first, the car was the only thing that we owed, but my husband decided to take our savings and then we paid off our car. So right now, we don't owe anyone anything. We don't owe the bank anything, even though we buy everything with our credit card. So this house, we are building it out of pocket. It was our decision and we didn't want to take any mortgage. We don't have a house here in America as yet, but we decided to build it out of pocket. So what we do, we save for every step. We'll save for the foundation. It will be done. Save for the wall, done. Now we are done with roofing. Now we have decided to pause our projects. We actually now also have another property that now we want to build houses into rent and just keep on like investing for the kids. So we now want to build those ones first. And I was telling you guys that we are actually also buying a field that we want to have our cows in and all that. So we have paused that thing because our plan is to go back to Botswana, Lord willing, in the next 2 to 3 years. So for those years, the money that we'll be making will be building our investment properties, will be also, investment property, because so far it's one that we're working on. And then also in December, we are planning on buying one of the fields that we wanted to buy, the same size as the farm that I went to. So that's our plan for now. We really right now focusing on investing and posting that project for now, but it's roofed, everything is safe in there, and we have a fence around it, so we're fine with where it is now. And when we are ready to go to Botswana, then maybe a few months before, we start saving some money for the next project, and then work hard and just do another project. But in short, the building process is going amazing. So are we gonna move to Botswana? Yes, that's the plan, but not now, because right now we are not ready to move. We just want to let our kids get educated first. So I was talking about how we're gonna take our kids to school. We are actually going to take them to a private school in Botswana. Back home, private schools are very, very, expensive, but very, very affordable. So they will be having the best education in a private school, and they'll be going out and stuff like that. So we are planning on moving when you are ready. But right now we're not ready because we're still educating our children, still getting them ready for doing school stuff. Because if we send them to school, they will not do anything because they are so goofy. They're so goofy. They love to play like that. And then again, that's 6-year-old. That's every 6-year-old. They need to be told, okay, you have to write. They're still not at the point where I can come here and film a video like this and know that they're going to get done. The moment I come here and my husband is busy with something or my husband is out, they will play. I'll come back still on the same question. So I told you guys that we don't scold them much these days. We don't yell at them. I used to yell. The first few months, I used to cry and yell at them, but now I'm at the point where we just let it flow like that. This is why we want them to get them to understand that education is not to be forced on you. Hence the reason why I don't force them to memorize the Bible. I don't force children to do anything like that. So that's where we are, but we may change our minds, but that's how we are doing things now at the recent time. Things may change. Do you like living here or like to move back home? Oh my goodness, my husband made a full video of his thoughts about moving to Africa, to my country specifically, and living there. He made it a full video. I'll also link it down for you guys. But in short, yes, I love living in Botswana. Yes, I love the community. Yes, I love living there. America is nice, but the community is not as knit together like that. And my mom there and my grandmother, everyone, like, I'm biased like that. So as for my husband, he loves living in Botswana, but also he loves living here. He loves both. My family thinks that my husband loves America more than he loves Botswana, but one thing I can assure you is that he loves our house. He is actually daydreaming to the day that our house will be done and then he'll be living in that house. That's one thing that I can tell you. No question, I just love you and your content. Thank you so much. This means a lot. Will you guys come to South Africa one day? You all are such an inspiration. Definitely. We want to come to South Africa in one of the days also in the future, Lord willing, of course, especially when we move to Botswana and when we'll be established living there. We'll definitely want to visit there. Is there anyone you know about 60 or 70 years that loves the Lord and need a good fearing wife? Oh. No, I don't know anyone. And when it comes to someone that loves the Lord, let me tell you what I did. One thing that I did for myself was that making sure that I prep myself in the Lord. And it's amazing. One day I should ask my husband to come and do these questions and answers together, where he can explain to you what he was praying for and what we were praying for. It's amazing how our prayers met, even though we had not met. And then we married each other. Like, my story of my husband and I is such a testimony of the power of the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the power of believing on the Lord. I'm telling you, the Lord can provide to you a husband that actually fears the Lord. My husband fears the Lord like, I don't know how to explain it. He is the most selfless, humble, loving person I've ever met in my life. He actually even surpasses my immediate family. That's just how selfless he is. And I tell him, honey, I say, I've never in my life met a selfless person like that. And he will serve. Like, even when he works for a job, he will serve that boss. He'll do the things that the boss wants. Him as a husband, he's serving us. He's doing everything he needs to do. And it's exactly what I prayed for. And God delivered the package exactly the way it is. So in short, you don't need me to find that person for you. Trust me. If we get right and you're just reading the word and getting ready with the Lord will direct thy path. The Bible says that in Proverbs that when you know the wisdom of God, he shall direct thy path. It's a beautiful promise. He will direct your path to your husband. I promise you. Have you ever doubted your husband's love for you? No, never. However, I had felt that I was not good enough for him. Especially, I felt like I was lacking. I felt like I'm not enough for my husband. Like, the way he's so good, I felt like there are days when I'll feel like, even now that thought still creeps in me, I'll feel like he will be so better off with a wife with legs. He can go out. Like, those thoughts creep in me. But his love for me, I'm assured of it. I'm sure of his love for me. Like, I'm 100% sure of his love for me. But I am more into, like, man, what if he liked a lot of hiking stuff? I mean, he liked to assure me, like, there are things that I wonder if he would have loved to do that me having legs has stopped him. I don't know. That's only me. It's only me that likes to think that I'm not good enough for him, that he would have been better off with someone else. But I know that this union was done by the Lord. So I know that the Lord really directed my path. So I try to let those thoughts not creep in, but once in a while they'll do that. Do you take time for yourself? Now I do. But when Garrett was still very small, our little child, as you see, this is my me time. Now Garrett eats solids. So some days I'll just have my me time where I don't have a child. Garrett takes the kids out. He takes the food. Garrett now eats and drinks water. So he'll just bring him food and he'll drink water and he'll be fine. So I have me time. I don't know if we see I'm radiating my skin. I'm now working on myself. I told you, if you follow me on Instagram, I've actually shared that this year is for me. I mean, this rest of the year is for me. I'm focusing on paying the bills, pleasing the Lord, and just making it for myself and everyone, of course. But what I mean is that it's time for me to stop being overweight. It's time to care for my skin. It's time to care for my body and stuff. And on the flip side, yes, my husband has his me time too. I watch the kids, and actually, I'm the one that teaches the kids. I'm the homeschooling teacher now. I'm the one that teaches the kids, but both of us, we all have me time, because yes, we are married, yes, we are one, but also we need that individual time. Yes, with a little child and 4 children, it's not as easy, but we make it happen. And not only that, I know you did not ask this question. Another thing that we do, our kids every day go to bed at 7 o'clock. 7 p.m. our kids go to bed, and that's the time for my husband and I to nourish our relationships, to have fun, to enjoy our lives together with no kids. Yes, we have our quiet time, that time, and then my husband, after enjoying time with me, whether through talking about the scriptures or watching a movie or just having our lovely time together, from there we just go to bed. We have like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours together after the kids go to bed, and then he works out. My husband now works out like crazy because he didn't work out much time in Botswana, and because of my sickness he had to watch the kids a lot. Like our trip to Botswana, the first weeks were a disaster. I'm telling you, it made me think like, maybe we should have waited. That's what I thought. You're an amazing mom, and you are amazing and an awesome mom. Thank you so much. Were you born without legs? I was born with legs, but they were defected. I mean, I have a video. As I said, I'll leave it down. Do you ever think you are not good enough for your husband physically? And if so, how do you oh, the question stopped. Oh, okay. The question said, do you ever think you are not good enough? I talked about that. And then it says, if so, how do you, I mean, the question is not finished. My thinking is that they're asking, how do I overcome that? I honestly have those thoughts creeping in my mind. I'm not gonna lie. Because my husband is a very good person, you guys. And he is very nice. And I always say this, that this man has never, in a marriage, yelled at me. When I say he's never made me scared. Like, you know, like that's how he is. But on this flip side, I don't yell at him, but I just feel like I'm more emotional like that. So there are days when I'm like, that's not nice. And now I've made it a point to where I try to match his energy. I try to match the way he is. I try to make sure that I become considerate. When I'm thinking of saying something, I think first. He is made me like try to match his energy. My grandmother made a comment the other day saying, "No, my name is Sarona." He says, "Sarona, you've changed a lot because you don't yell anymore like you used to, like a lot of times." And he said, this man has really softened you. And I was surprised my grandmother noticed that, because I've changed a lot. Like, I've changed a lot. I believe that the spouse that you marry changes you. If a spouse is really bad, like is always complaining, you may see that energy. I believe that is going to come to you, that mind, that surrounding. My husband has made me into a softer person. So I've thought about it, and yes, I think about it sometimes that I'm not good enough, and then I remember that the Lord did it. Just like I'm not good enough for the Lord, and I know that I'm not good enough, but he still loved me. And I think the same way as my husband. And of course, my husband and God, they're not on the same level. But I'm saying that if I'm not good enough for child of the Lord, I see that I'm not deserving of his love. I know that I'm not good enough. I think the same way. So I think along those lines when it comes to my husband, that, you know what, I'm not good enough, but you know what, he still loves me. He still chose me, and he still married me. Did your husband pay Lobola? Yes, Lobola is bride price. Yes, my husband paid bride price. Are you going to have more babies? Definitely, Lord willing, of course. I mean, it's up to the Lord. How does someone as small as you develop content for a YouTube channel? I don't know if this person is saying as small as me, as far as me being short, like disabled, or they mean someone as small as me, like subscribers. I don't understand this question, but if you're talking about as small as me, as far as not looking as beautiful as the today's standards, you just go for it. You just go for it, and you just do it. Just go for it. Start a YouTube channel, and your vibe will attract your tribe. That's what will happen. How is your skincare regimen right now? I'm telling you, I am in love with Good Molecule. I don't think I may use other products, of course, that people recommend, but so far I'm a lot more comfortable with the ones that I'm using. Of course, they're gonna change. Of course, if I have a company reach out to me and say, please promote this product, I'm gonna try it. If it works, I may product it for you. I may promote it for you and stuff. But so far, what I've seen really works perfectly for me. With this one that I've tried a lot. I mean, I've not tried a lot. It was the first skin product that I bought, and it worked. Because before, I never bought any skincare. I always used the Vaseline. Yes, petroleum jelly. That's what I always used. But when I was noticing that this was, oh my god, look guys, look at my skin. No makeup. I don't apply makeup. Look at my skin. I don't apply makeup at all. But the proof is in the pudding. I saw that, I do that, and oh, before I continue with my skincare regimen, every 3 days or so, I use this overnight exfoliating treatment because my goal was to really clean out. Oops. Ooh. Okay, this is what I use. That's what I use. This one, it says formulated with AHA and BHA to help resurface and renew skin. So maybe this is what worked for me. So every 3 days or 4 days, I use it. Every like 4 days, and I use it at night. It has all the as you see, it's still like almost full. It's up to here, almost going to half. So this one I use it. It bends a little. It stings a little bit, as you see. This is the same one as this one. When I travel, I use this one because the amount of compliments I've gotten on my skin, like I don't have makeup, and people ask me, what do you use? I'm telling you, I'll link everything down for you guys, or everything that I'm using, I'll link it down. I love Good Molecule. I mean, they better sponsor me. I mean, seriously, Good Molecule, if you're watching my video, you better talk to me because this product of yours works, and I've told my subscribers. Can I have a discussion with you, Ma? Yeah, you can send me a message on Instagram. You once said you do it naturally, whitening your teeth. They look so good. Yes, I do naturally. I know this is an unpopular opinion. I'm 34 years old. I've never in my life went to a dentist. I've never washed my teeth at the dentist. Where I'm from, I grew up, we don't have dentist regimens. We don't have that and all that. And not only that, I'm not very impressed on how the people that go to the dentist, the teeth turn out to be. And I'd always wonder, for example, my husband's teeth, even if I use my natural whitening stuff, they won't be white anymore, because it's like they use some type of antibiotic or something that got inside and discolored the teeth completely. So I don't want that. I don't want that for my kids. So what I do to whiten my teeth, when I did not whiten them in Botswana, but in this coming week, I'm going to be whitening them. As you see, they're not as white as they should be. They still have that not so white. I use baking soda. I just buy baking soda and I use baking soda. In Botswana, what I use charcoal mixed with salt. Just charcoal and salt. I don't know why our ancestors made us use salt. Maybe it's to kill bacteria. I don't know. Don't ask me why that concoction. Don't ask me how. So we just use real charcoal and then salt, and then I brush my teeth. While now here in America, I don't see charcoals, and I don't know, because we don't make the fireplace much, and I don't know how well these trees are. So what I'll use baking soda. I haven't whitened it yet. Let me know if you want me to show myself whiten my teeth. I'll definitely be willing to share with you guys the full. Actually, I think I've shared how I do it, but I've shared that I use baking soda, but I have not shown how I do it. So let me know if you want me to show how I do it, just like how I showed how I do my skincare today. Can you show your skincare products and how you whiten your teeth? Yes, I already showed my skincare products. How I whiten my teeth is not complicated, you guys. I use only baking soda. But my husband had told me that there are people that actually use baking soda and hydrogen peroxide. I don't know that one yet, but I use only baking soda. I'll show how I do it, but I just use baking soda and that. How did you and your husband meet? I'll leave that video of how we met, so this video does not become too long. I'm trying to answer the new questions that I haven't seen in a long time, so this video does not become too long.